Let me get something straight from the beginning. I'm all for human rights, for every human being on this planet. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, what religion you're believing in, your background, poor, rich. Doesn't matter. There are human rights for everybody. We have a human rights charter. It's not lived everywhere, but we have it as a vision. From this, there are freedoms and rights for every human being, but also duties and responsibilities. And there are countries that live more on these laws and rules, and others that don't. There are people who orientate themselves on what you don't want to experience for yourself, you don't put to others, or better said, love thy neighbor as thyself. Some practice their life and orientate their life more to this, and others that don't. But in every religion we have this essence. And yeah, you experience yourself, but what the difference is if you practice this wisdom and if you don't. So by all discussions about following the rules and laws and believing in one or the other things, from my perspective, there is a spiritual order, if you will, in the whole universe for every conscious human being and beyond. And whatever we discuss, I believe in a higher order of things, a karma, if you believe in this kind of things, or that everything is sorting itself also out. But beyond that, because there is, it goes over lives, incarnation, reincarnation. There are rules in society, how we live together. And we, in the West, the democratic states, we have our flaws. No discussion about it. We have our flaws. But we have developed over extreme hardship, wars, Second World War, especially, horrific experiences, especially in Europe. That's why we founded the United Nations. That's why we founded the European Union. That's why we live under democratic, civilized human rights laws. That's why we have peace. And when I now see demonstrations where some demonstrate in a sympathy for a terrorist organization, not everybody. Free Palestine is okay. Of course, also the Palestinians need their own state, peace, prosperity, and a good life. But if you chant from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, then this is a call for annihilation of the Jewish state and all Jewish people. And that's a call for hate, that's a call for violence. And there's a right for demonstrations, and we live with this principle. We have the right for free speech, but it has its boundaries from the rule, from our law, that if you call for violence or even practice it, and if you call out for hate, and if you are violently against another religion or other peoples, and if you do that in Western society, in democratic states, you have to realize that you break the law. And that the police and the judicial system will defend this law, defend our principles and our law and our rights. We have all the technology we need to identify every single individual on these demonstrations or in social media and other communications with handy whatever that is breaking law and order and peace within our civilization and within our societies. And we will enforce it. So if you are born, or if you are part of different kinds of countries in the West, you have to apply to the law, and you will be prosecuted if you are acting against it. Because you have to realize the majority of us, even though you don't hear something from them or us, is for peace, is for coexistence of all religions, all people, all countries. Just because we are not demonstrating, don't forget that we are still here. And we will protect our peace and our order, not by ourselves. We have police. We have the judicial system. We have even military if needed. So if you believe in the Sharia or in different kind of laws, how to treat a woman, how to treat other people, then this won't work. If you want to live after these principles, instead of our Western principles, then there will be a problem, especially for you. You will have to decide. And if somebody is a feminist or LGBTQ community or a liberal, and you are demonstrating with fundamentalists, pro-Hamas people, you just have to explain me how that works out for you. Because if some of these people who are pro-terrorists want to live after the Sharia, then you won't have the freedom anymore that you now live. So I don't get it. I really don't. And all in all, we have to realize that I don't care. If you're a settler, a Jewish settler in Israel, and you're just in the Gaza, not in the Gaza, in the West, in Israel, and as a settler, you go to the Palestinians and shoot at them, you will be prosecuted. If you're a soldier in the Israeli army and you don't uplift the rules of war and the international laws, you will be prosecuted by your own government. And if you're a terrorist, you will face the force of those that want to protect their civilians from you. And if you are pro-Hamas, how in the world can you explain me that you are pro an organization that is using your fellow citizenships or fellow believers and is using them as human shields, tries to block them from leaving a war zone, that is willingly sacrificing children and women, where their men or Hamas terrorists stop them violently from fleeing a war zone. And you are pro them and you demonstrate them for them? If you are for free Palestine, how in the world can you demonstrate against Hamas? The war crimes on all sides are practiced by Hamas. You want a free, prosperous Palestine? You need to get rid of Hamas and violent worldviews, where you are against a whole people, a whole another religion. That won't work. It doesn't work out very well for you, doesn't it? Here or there. Why we can't unite all around the world against this violent attack of killing, butchering, burning, raping 1,400 civilians, Israelis, is a question that needs to be answered. If whole countries, I don't care, if statesmen can't speak out against that speaks words. If you demonstrate on this day and celebrate it, that speaks words. And we are all witnessing it. We are all watching. But not only us. Secret services do too. The police is doing too. And we all, deep down, or let's say the majority, wants peace, coexistence, a good life, cooperation, space to grow children, to protect children. And everything that stands against it won't survive. It never has. Look in the history. We had dark times, but who in the end won? Who prevailed? Evolution. the growing of our consciousness, the coming together of nations. And we will this time too. Everyone has to decide, well, not everyone, but many people obviously now have to decide what future you are for. And if you want to be part of this prosperous future, this possibility, the coexistence of Palestinians and Israelis, of all nations with each other, of all religions with each other. And of course, we need more wealth from upside down. It needs to flatten more out. We need to come into the middle from all sides. Everyone. And we will. And no matter on which side you are on or others are on, the extremists on all sides of all beliefs, religions, countries, nations, whatever, you name it, won't survive this transformation. So this is a call to come back into the middle and to realize what has the possibility of your worldview, of your beliefs to survive if we are now going into a worldwide cooperation phase. All fundamentalists on all sides, all extremists, all people that choose violence on all sides won't be part of this new human family. It can't. There needs to be peace. There needs to be protection of civilians and human rights everywhere. And we will enforce that. So come in the middle. Be part of it.